How is the neck injuries? Are you starting to get feeling back in the arm?
Still shit because C7 nerves crushed over there. Pretty much the tricep on this side, like I said, this is probably atrophied up 2 inches, almost 3 inches.
Oh wow!
And then this part of my chest and part of my back is pretty much like if I'm doing pull downs. I put both hands. If I'm doing pull downs, this arm's got the strength, so it goes. This arm just comes along for the ride. So anything I'm doing, if I do dumbbell press, I put a 60 kilo here, a 20 kilo here. This one's.
Wow.
So it's almost like I haven't had a stroke, but it feels like that because some days my mind's telling this arm to move, but because the signal's not going to the tricep, it just doesn't move. And now this side does the majority of the work, so this side's starting to get sore and crap from compensating for this side. So.
Right. So your trap is fine and your bicep is fine, but your tricep, your pec, and your lat are all fucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a friend who had the exact same injury. Same thing. He had surgeries and it never came back. His tricep is down to the bone.
Yeah, sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. They say, get an operation, it's 50-50. That was a shit thing. I had one operation where I went through the back of the neck there and was meant to have fixed it. So I thought for a year I'll keep training. And then I'm like, this shit ain't getting better. It's getting worse. And over a year ago now when I was in Brazil, they ran more tests and did tests that I never had done here. And then they're like, you know what? It's still crushed. Something. Well, fuck, that was a year wasted, wasn't it? So,
wow.
And then here now they got like a court case going with the person that crashed into me in insurance companies, but they don't want to pay out. They're trying to say it was an existing injury, and they're saying that Lee tore his bicep recently before that accident. I said, I tore my bicep in 2008. I said, my bicep's not the issue. I won the universe after I tore my bicep. I said, it's my tricep and everything else. So, insurance companies, they're trying to make out like it's been an ongoing thing and crap like that. I'm like, fuck off. I said, look, I'm not even, you just came to me, remember, to ask about getting money for this. I didn't come to you. I said, if you can give me my arm back and how it was, I could train normal. I'd rather that over than any fucking money. Money comes and goes. So, I'd rather be able to train properly like I've done for over 30 years.
Right. Wow, that's shit. Well, you'll be chasing them for a while, it sounds.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about it. If it happens, it happens. If I get money out of them, I don't care. It's like, I just want to hopefully get this fixed at some point.
Right. So let's say you do get it fixed. Would there be a possibility of you, you just mentioned that you're slowly being allowed to go to IFBB events now. Would there be any desire for you to want to come back and compete? And if you did, would you do open or 212?
I'd probably do the 212.
That's a good answer.
But it's one of those things, someone's asked me that before, and I say, well, I think Dave might have asked me. I said, look, if I got the neck operated on and, the little bit of size I've lost off my arm came back and the upper chest on that side comes back a bit. And I said, if I can say, like, how I looked at the universe in 2013, if I was to get all this fixed up and I died it down, if I have that conditioning but I come in a little fuller, I'd make a comeback. But like I said, I never want to make a comeback and people get excited. Lee Priest is coming back, and then as soon as I walk out on stage, they're like, oh, fuck, what did you do that for? It's like shit. So I don't want to do that. So if I thought, okay, if I looked in the mirror and thought, okay, Lee, you still look okay, you're not going to embarrass yourself. Because like me going into a 212 now, even against people like you and Flex Lewis, I'm a realist. I'm not going to go in there and say, fuck, I'm going to win. I'll be happy to make top 6 or even top 10. So as long as I could look better, like I said, I did at the university, even if I looked the same as I did at the universe, it'd be more about just coming back for the fans, not the placing contest and see who I can beat type of thing, because I've done all that before. I'm happy with where I am in bodybuilding, so it's not me coming back to prove anything. It'd just be me coming back for the fans to say, okay, here I am, you wanted to see me in a 212. I'm not worried about placings, but I'd have to look as good as I did the universe, maybe a bit fuller, then I would do it.
Well, I love that answer because I would love to see it. And I say the same thing. I wouldn't care.
You just all want to say I fucking beat Lee Priest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I want the chance anyway.
We beat that old man.
Yeah, but listen, that condition you brought to the universe was probably the hardest I've ever seen you. Like you were crazy dry there.
Yeah,
how much did you weigh?
I don't even know. I didn't even hop on a scale leading up to that to see what I weighed, but I'd have to say, well, we're in kilos over here, so I'd have to say probably around the 90 kilo, 89 kilos. I was pretty light, so I'm not sure what that is in pounds, but
did you have to make it into a weight class? Because I thought there was a heavy guy and then like a light heavy.
With that NABA universe, it goes by height.
Oh, okay.
So then once you win your height class, and you go in the overall compete against the other guys who are a lot taller and heavier. But now, to me, it was when I was making that comeback. At first, I thought, okay, I'm going to do the universe. Thought of it as a contest. I started putting too much stress on myself, thinking, fuck, Lee, you're making a comeback. If you don't do well, you're going to look like shit. I said I would want to go on the internet the next day and read how you washed up loser, you fucking scumbag, you look like crap. So I figured, there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to be younger, have a bit more mass than me, but I always figured, luckily being shorter, you come in better condition on stage, you can have that illusion of looking a lot bigger. I remember when I won the San Francisco, when I was back in 2002, I weighed 199 pounds for that show, and called me a second at 260, but yet people thought, Ollie, what do you weigh? I said, what do you think I weighed? They're like, 220, 230. I said, I weighed 199 pounds. So, it's one of those things, as long as you can bring that conditioning in with the muscle fullness and that, you can, always said, it's the illusion, you can look a lot bigger than what you really are. So
Right.
with the universe, that's all I did. I just figured as long as I come in condition-wise, I know a lot of guys were thinking Lee's coming in, so we'll come in bigger. So you come in a bit bigger. If you miss it, it's too hard to come back. You come in too full, you're going to look smoother on stage. So
Right.
I'd rather come in on the side of caution, come in more ripped, and have the illusion of looking bigger.
Right. That's the dilemma I'm hitting is where, some of the judges love to see me be able to hit a vacuum, and that's I weigh about 203, 204 when I'm peeled like that and empty stomach. But some judges like you fuller. Then, when I can hit a vacuum, they say, oh, you look flat. And then when I'm fuller, they're like, you got a bubble gut, I mean, there's really no win there. It's hard to nail it 100%.
Until they make the vacuum pose mandatory, I wouldn't worry about it.
Right.
That's one of those things too. It's like, okay, you can suck in and do a bicep shot, but then sometimes some guys look better doing a bicep shot, flexing the abs at the same time.
Right.
So that's one. Until it's mandatory, I wouldn't worry about it. Just come in looking the best you can be. And like I said, sometimes it's that fine line though. We always think, we can be looking great a week out, 2 weeks out, but you always think to yourself, I want to be that little bit harder, I want to be this little bit fuller. And generally, most of the time, some people will fuck it up. You'll come in too full, and you might be vascular, but then you won't be as dry as you were, but you're still full. So it's one of those things. You just got to be happy with what you are and go, you know what? I'd rather, like I said, be a bit cautious and maybe not come in as full, maybe like 95% full, but be super shredded and dry. Have that illusion of looking bigger, and then maybe for the night show, go with a big feed and come in a little bit fuller for the night show, because sometimes they say, placings can change from morning to night. But like I said, if you come in super full, there's nowhere to go but, spill over from that point. So.
Right. So I want to go back to when you were at the absolute top of your popularity competing. You were really young. I mean, you're not much older than me, and I was in high school when you were kicking ass. You were a pro at 20, right? 20, 21?
Yeah.
And now you were insanely popular back then. Do you think that some of the, I don't even know how to word it, but the bullshit that you got into was just due to a young kid, hitting stardom so young? And if so, how would you have handled it? Would you have done anything differently if you had the opportunity to go back?
Look at me now. I'm still getting into the same trouble and bullshit.
Right.
That's just me. That's just been my personality from day one. My mum used to always say when I was little, there's no grey areas, either black and white. It's either, that sort of thing. That's how I've always been. I've always questioned stuff. When I was made to go to Sunday school when I was younger, I'd be kicked out of Sunday school because I wanted to know how a virgin could have a baby, and I wanted to know how a guy could walk on water. I said, don't tell me this bullshit. I want you to explain to me. And, you can't question the Bible, so Lee, get out, kicked out of Sunday school. Or when they tell me the story of, a guy living inside a whale's belly for 3 days, I'm like, well, how do you live inside a whale's belly underwater? How do you breathe, Lee? Get out. It's like, so I've always questioned stuff. And to me, it was like, with the IFBB, it was like, I remember when I moved to the PDI, everyone's like, Lee's doing this to fuck with the IFBB, screw with man. I said, no, it's not at all. I said, it's like anything. I've been with the IFBB for 15, 16 years, and it's like I explained to Dave once, it's like, over so long, it's like I need a new challenge. You compete with the same guys, compete with the same judges. I was just getting a bit stale, so I figured, okay, Wayne started a new organisation. There's new faces, new judges. Why not try something new? That's all it was, just to sort of give fire back into my belly. So I was just getting stale, going on the same stage, thinking, I know how this outcome's going to be. He's going to place there, he's going to place there, whatever. But so it's just something new like that. So for me, it was just like me just trying to do something different. And when I spoke out before about things in bodybuilding, it was never about me, because people would always say, Lee, shut your mouth. You know, you're doing pretty good. And I was, you know, I was winning shows. I was placing top 3, top second, top 5 at the Olympia once. Got a couple of top 6 at the Olympia, and I had great contracts, you know, from MD back in the day and Twin Lab and Pro Lab and all them. So I could have kept my mouth shut because I was making good money, but it wasn't about me. It was always about the guys under me, because I'd say, you know, you got these guys who train just as hard as me. They're busting their ass, killing themselves. They're not making $1 back then. You know, guys going to Mr. Olympia. If you finished out of the top 10, you went home with nothing in your pocket. I said, you call this a Super Bowl of bodybuilding. How can you treat guys like that? So it was always about the other people. It was never about me. So that's why I just never understood why the other guys wouldn't stand with me. I'd do interviews in MD, and sure, at expos I'd come up to them and go, Lee, we agree with what you're saying. I said, then stand with me. They're like, oh, no, we'll get in trouble. I said, no, we won't. I said, when I do it, yes, there's one guy. Let's make an example of Lee Priest. We'll suspend him and fine him. So, yeah, but I said, if we all stood together, what could they have done back then? You know, when Wayne was saying do this, do that, I said, we had the athletes meeting and they say do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. You know, do the videos. You had to do so many videos, otherwise you couldn't compete in the Olympia, and, you know, you never got anything for it. So I'm like, you know, why don't we all just stand up and say, listen, we're not doing it. We're not going to sign the contract. Run the show without us tomorrow. You know, I said, they're not going to cancel the Mr. Olympia. You got sponsors from all over the world. You got fans from all over the world. The bodybuilders have the power, but they never stood together for some reason. It was more of that me type mentality. Okay, if he's been suspended, I can move up a spot. So sadly, the guys just never had that unity. Look at the big picture. You know, we all stood together. We're going to make changes. That's like anything in life, you know. We always, the government does this to us, the government does that. If people power got together and stood together, we could change things. But people these days just are so, yeah, you put a, you know, wild lion in the cage for a year or two, he's going to walk back and forth and roar and do whatever. But then after a while, he just gets beat down. He just sits there like a beat down person. So now when anything happens, the government does something and says, we're going to do this, increase taxes, do that. Everyone goes, well, they get on Facebook, make all these comments, but then no one does nothing about it.
Right.
You know, if everyone stood together, and like I said, here in Australia, our electricity prices are going through the roof. You have people dying because they can't afford to heat their home or cool their home in summer. I said, if every Australian just didn't pay the electricity bill to the electricity companies, what are they going to do? Shut everyone's power off? If taxes keep going up, if every person in America or Australia said, you know what, fuck you, we're not paying taxes, what are you going to do? Lock every person in America up who doesn't pay their taxes? You know, back in the old days when the king and queen become too rich and they, you know, the people start to suffer, they storm the castle, get the king and queen and cut their fucking head off. But these days, everyone complains, but, you know, the people don't unite and stand together anymore. That's the sad thing.
So, Lee, you're an anarchist. Is that what it is?
I don't call me an anarchist. I just sort of hate seeing people shit on, you know. It's just like, you know, the people on the top keep making money, whether it be big business, governments and stuff, and to do that, they just keep shitting on the workers. Because, like I said, these companies that we see every year making record profits, billions of profits, they're shitting on the workers. But without them workers, these companies wouldn't be making these record profits and these billions of dollars. They forget about the little people that got them there. So it's just sad that, you know, like I said, the people that are doing all the hard work don't start believing in themselves and standing together, like people unite together.
I don't think anything is going to happen until, like, the Mr. Olympia himself, you know, makes a stand for the rest of the competitors. Thing, because, like I said, because I was making the good money, and until the top guys do it, and sadly, like you said, back in the day, Jay and Ronnie, or those people, they're like, well, why should I do anything? I'm Mr. Olympia. I got these big contracts. I'm making all this money. I get all this. So, you know, it's not about you, though. It's about everybody else. And, you know, we're all in together. We're all doing the same thing. We're all busting our asses. So you can't just think of yourself that way, which sadly, this sport these days, there's so many egos involved. And to me, it's like, you know, I get embarrassed to this day when people come up and say, oh, you're Lee Priest, blah, blah, blah. To me, I'm just Lee. I'm just like you. I go to the gym. I train. I'm not any more specialist because I had a pro card. Big fucking deal. I'm a pro bodybuilder. Whoopie fucking do. I still just go to the gym like you and everybody else. So to me, I've never put myself on a pedestal. I'm just me. If you like me, you do. If you don't, you don't. All right, this is the Boston Mass. Thanks again for watching. Now, if you're not subscribing, subscribe now. Tell all your friends to subscribe. If you haven't, do it now. All right? Peace.